Well, how you doing? Mr. DJ's back, and I'm gonna go back to Billboard's Hot 100 of April, actually May 7th, 1966. Let's go all the way. Let me read you the top five hits real quick, though. Kicks by Power Fear and the Raiders. Yes, All-American Power Fear and the Raiders at number five, up from number six. Kicks, You're My Soul and Inspiration by the Righteous Brothers at number four, down from number two. Up one from number four, Sloop John B. by the Beach Boys. Brian Wilson. Good Lovin' by the Rascals at number two, and uh, Monday Monday by the Mamas and the Papas at number one. Their runner-up to California Dreaming, their second top 10 hit, Mamas and Papas. Now the song we'll go into is all the way down, debuting at number 95. A Lost 45. It only get as high as number 94. Dale Shannon. The Big Hurt off the Liberty record label. Now, Dale Shannon was with the Big Top record label. That's where he had his biggest hits, oh gosh, Hats Off to Larry and Runaway. He formed his own little record label, and then he joined Liberty Records in 1966. The Big Hurt, let's go into the Big Hurt first. Big Hurt, nice version of this record. Tony Fisher did this song back in 1959. It's a big hit for her. Went to number three on Billboard's Hot 100, but it had that phasing effect. Technically, it was known as flanging. And flanging, it sounds like it's a jet-like sound. It's something that you hear on a shortwave broadcast as radio stations would fade in and out. And it was associated with the psychedelic sound in the 60s. That's the weird thing. In 1959, the phase effect was way, way, way ahead of its time. It just sounds absolutely just like people were like, wow, man, this is weird. 1959, but it was used a lot more often in the late 60s, associated with the psychedelic sound in the 60s, used in Ichiku Park by the Small Faces in 1967, and also a very obscure record by Nas, Open My Eyes. Flanging was used all over the place in that record, particularly in the when they got into the when Todd Rundgren Todd Rundgren's band, the Nas. Todd Rundgren got into the chorus of the record, but flanging was used in the 70s. Queen's Killer Queen, 1975, used the phasing effect. Now, here's the thing about this record. Dale Shannon covering this record, produced by the legendary Snuff Garrett. Snuff Garrett, who produced hit records by Cher like Gypsy Tramps and Thieves and Dark Lady in the 70s. In the 60s, he produced Gary Lewis and the Playboys, This Diamond Ring, Sure Gonna Miss Her, Green Grass. I'm trying to remember the name of that song. Well, bottom line is he produced all their big hits. Snuff Garrett produced Gary Lewis and the Playboys' biggest hits. Not to mention Take Good Care of My Baby by Bobby Fee, produced by Snuff Garrett. Liberty Records producer. Also, Leon Russell produced this record, or at least did some arranging on this record by Dale Shannon. Dale Shannon's version very much staying true. Maybe a little bit more orchestration in this record, but it uses the same phasing effect. Sticking very true to the original version by Tony Fisher. I want to mention a couple other things about Dale Shannon real quick. Dale Shannon also covered, when he was Liberty Records, he covered Under My Thumb by the Rolling Stones. I mean, this guy, he really liked the British invasion. I Go to Pieces, the song that he wrote, he gave it to Peter and Gordon, became a massive hit for Peter and Gordon in 1965. And not only that, in 1967, Dale Shannon worked on an album called Home and Away. Made an album called Home and Away in England, produced by Andrew Loog. I can't pronounce his middle name. Andrew Oldham, the manager of the Rolling Stones, produced this album, Home and Away. This was supposed to be England's answer to Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, but Liberty Records would not release the album. They shelved it. They released some singles. They released some cuts off the album, but it wasn't until 1978 before all the cuts off the album got released. Dale Shannon eventually moved into production. He arranged Baby It's You by Smith in 1969, the old Sherelle song, and then, gosh dog it, he killed it. Nailed it when he produced Brian Hyland's version of Gypsy Woman. That was in the fall of 1970. But we're in the spring of 1966 and coming in at number 95. This is The Big Hurt by Dale Shannon.